So the question today is an important question actually. How much does the size and shape of the pot affect the final results? What is the optimal pot volume for nutrient-rich soil prepared according to my recipe? Okay, so simple answer to that. The shape and size of your pot definitely does affect your final outcome. Bigger containers lead to bigger plants and better yields. So I would definitely recommend using bigger pots if you want to maximize your plant's potential. Now, the size affects the final outcome. Also, the shape affects your final outcome. If you're using a shallow and relatively wide pot, that's going to encourage branching, but the shape of your plant will reflect the shape of your pot. So you'll have short and squat plants. On the other hand, if you use a deeper container, not quite as wide, you're going to encourage vertical growth. Actually, this is usually a better option to choose than this kind of pot, obviously, because it just takes up a lot less floor space, and you'll have a lot more room for your roots to develop. So the simple answer is bigger pots lead to bigger plants. This is because there's more room for your roots to develop, of course, and also not just that. A bigger pot provides a better, more stable environment for your roots, because roots don't like a lot of fluctuation, a lot of change in temperature and humidity. So that being said, so right now, obviously we're talking about just your personal garden, growing outside in a greenhouse, whatever. We're not talking about hydroponic growing or even growing with drip irrigation in a semi-hydroponic indoor facility. You can actually get away with using smaller pots in hydroponics. But we're just talking about your average regular growing organically in soil mix, right? So let's start with this one. So this is a 2-gallon pot, so it's about 8-10 liters, and you can grow autos in this kind of pot, but it's really too small. You can go one step up to maybe a 4-gallon pot here. This is 3 or 4 gallons, so we're talking about 12-15 liters. This is starting to be a pretty good size for autos. Now you can find these buckets lying around a lot. They're easy to find, and they're actually starting to be a really decent size to grow autos in. You can get some decent yields out of them. This is 5 gallons, so we're talking about 20-25 liters. But if you really want to get the most out of your autos, I'd recommend, using even bigger pots. And this is my favorite pot because I've done a lot of experimenting. Even this summer outdoors, I was comparing different size pots and whether it's worth it to use a bigger pot. And it definitely pays to use a pot like this. So this is about 40 or 50 liters. So we're talking about 10 gallons. Now this is starting to be a really decent pot if you want to maximize your auto flowering potential. So now if we're talking about photoperiod plants, they get even bigger. They're going to need even bigger pots. You can get a decent yield out of these. You can get 6-7 foot plants, but you're just not going to get the yield. If you're going for bigger plants, you're going to need even bigger. I'd say this one here is starting to be a decent size for a photoperiod plant. So this is about 100 liters, 25 gallons, something like that. And actually this is starting to be really good. I'd recommend these for photoperiods. And of course, if you're growing really monster plants, you're probably not watching this, but you know that you're going to have to use even bigger pots, much bigger pots, or just plant straight in the ground. So that's it. There's a lot of options, but it really just comes down to how much time and space do you want to dedicate to your grow. And that's it. Happy growing.